So today's video is going to be about knowing the difference between what I need and what I want. It may sound simple, but it is the most complex or difficult situation we face in every segment of our life. It may be as simple as having closet full of clothes and still having this feeling of being indecisive about what to wear, or having this thought, I don't have enough clothes. But the key here is it's not I don't have enough clothes. The key is I don't have the right clothes. And from as simple thing as clothes to the most difficult or complex problems that we may face in our life, it is important to know that why to pursue less. Welcome, I am Ritusha, and this is my special space where I talk about my journey of self-discovery, yoga, spirituality, and all the random stuff. And if you're interested in this content, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I have divided into three parts. The first one is why I got rid of my half of my clothes. The second is going to be a glance on the concept of minimalism and essentialism, and the third one is going to be about why successful people like Ratan Tata or Steve Jobs used to wear the same kind of clothes every day or used to pursue the simple lifestyle. So let's get to it. So I started getting aware about this minimalistic lifestyle because of these two influencers on YouTube. I was so fascinated by how they are living. I was also fascinated by Japanese way of living. Their simple living, their simple homes, and I used to watch all this video about living in small house and all the stuff. So the first step I took towards this minimalism thing was from cosmetics. Yes, cosmetic, whether while buying it or using it. And now I have literally got rid of. I have stopped using 90% of the stuff which I used to buy, and almost all of the things that I use now are organic. Next thing I shifted to was my closet. I stopped buying from sales. I stopped surfing on online shopping website or apps, and then I started rearranging my closets by first getting rid of the clothes which I have used just once or twice in the period of 2 years, and then by getting aside the clothes which I feel I will never wear, but I was still keeping it. And when I separated this piece of clothing which I will never wear, it almost comprised of 50% of my clothes. And that's the reason why I always felt like I don't have enough clothes, even though my closet was flooded with the clothes. Therefore, I got rid of half of my clothes. There is this book by Marie Kondo called Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And she says that use only those products which bring out the joy in you. And I feel I want to explain this joy term more, as this joy is not about a specific moment. This joy is supposed to be for the whole period of time that you are going to use or properly utilize that clothing. And it's not just about getting rid of the clothes, it's more about investing in things which you need, which you love. And we all have this tendency to hold on to things. We think that we might use this something later, so we keep that thing, but that letter never comes, and we end up being stuck with all the things which we don't need. And now there is no room for what we actually need. This habit is very time consuming, and knowing that time's worth, knowing that time doesn't stop for anyone, I don't think it's worth to waste our 1 or 2 hours daily in finding the right clothes. So yeah, and another thing which led me to minimalism, like as I have already shared in my last video, which was about gratitude. Gratitude is actually making me less materialistic. I remember this one article which I read in Indian Express 2 years ago, and I remember this one thing the article mentioned, and it was about a German economist in 60s, 70s. His name was Ernest Schumacher, I guess, something like that. And he pioneered the concept of appropriate technologies and unsustainable exploitation of resources, and authored the bestseller Small is Beautiful, in which he advocated a radically different philosophy. Why not place the human being at the center of the economy rather than consumers? He argued that consumption is merely a means of human well being. The aim should be to obtain the maximum of well being with the minimum consumption. Modern economics, on the other hand, consider consumption to be sole and the purpose of all economic activity. His book had immense impact but could not bring the prime mover to a halt. The thing is, we have become so greed driven, and in the era that we are living in today, with everything which is accessible to us just a tap away, just a click away, it is becoming more difficult to resist this greed. There is the scientific research on minimalism by the Joshua Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus, I don't know how to pronounce this, who have their own brand as minimalist, and they have given studies and survey conducted on different articles. And in my words, the conclusion of the research is that materialism brings short-term happiness which isn't healthy, and I feel it's more linked to self-esteem and environment and circle of people around us. And one important thing they pointed out was that it's a subjective concept. Each person is different, and so our needs. I may be happy with 50 pieces of clothing, and you might be happy with 500 pieces of clothing, which is totally okay. Because the point here is to be happy about having the things which you need and love, and that's the point, or that's the main part of essentialism. It's more about prioritizing things rather than just getting rid of it. Why would you want to follow this minimalism, essentialism thing? So I have got solid 4 benefits of this. The first one is you become tidier. The second is your confidence increases, because as you always have things which serve you the best. For example, clothes. You will always buy and wear the clothes which best suits you, so you'll always be confident in whatever you wear. The third is you have more time and more money. And the fourth is positive environment impact. As you have less things, you create less waste, and which in turn makes you a preserver of the nature. And as Gandhi has quoted, nature has enough to satisfy everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. So why successful people like Steve Jobs or Ratan Tata followed the simple lifestyle or wear the same kind of clothes every day? The thing is, our brain likes simple and easy things. Even Buddhism and Jainism focuses on living or pursuing simple lifestyle. Even yoga talks about how a yogi should be. A yogi should neither have access or should be restrained. So, and I feel this is where the essentialism comes. My observation about successful people who follows this simple living is they have less decision fatigue, less time wasted, less stress, less wasted energy, less expensive, more peace, feeling unique, quality over quantity. Clothes reflect a mission, and also it's iconic as they stress more on sophistication and style rather than any trend. So I would like to end this video with a quote from this book, Essentialism. And it says, the wisdom of life consists in the elimination of the non-essentialism. So get rid of the thing which doesn't serve you in any way and add the things in your life which add value into your life. If you like this video, then please like, share, and comment your views in the comment box below. And for more such video, please stay subscribed and stay tuned. Till then, see you.